Ladies and gentlemen, today we gather to embark on a transformative journey, a journey to find our true selves. In a world that constantly demands our attention and defines our worth, it's vital to pause and reflect on who we are beneath the noise. Embrace vulnerability. Let me start by saying that vulnerability is not a weakness, it's a strength. When we dare to show our authentic selves, we invite others to do the same. This is where true connection begins, when we share our fears and our triumphs, when we embrace our stories, we find common ground and strength in each other. Listen to your inner voice. Each of us possesses a guiding compass within our intuition. It whispers to us, urging us toward our passions and desires. Are you listening? It's often drowned out by societal expectations and the chaos of daily life. But when we take a moment to be still and listen, we can discover what truly resonates with our hearts. Overcome fear. Fear is a formidable foe. It holds us back from pursuing our dreams and discovering our true selves. But I urge you to confront your fears head on. Start small. Take that first step outside your comfort zone. Each step, no matter how small, brings you closer to the person you're meant to be. Cultivate self-compassion. Remember, we are all beautifully imperfect. Embrace your flaws and practice kindness towards yourself. Self-acceptance is the foundation upon which we build our true selves. It's okay to stumble. What matters is how we rise again with grace and love. Identify core values. Take time to reflect on what truly matters to you. What are your core values? These are your guiding principles. When you align your life with these values, you begin to live authentically, making choices that reflect who you truly are. Celebrate your uniqueness. In a world that often tries to mold us into something we're not, let's celebrate our individuality. Your uniqueness is your greatest asset. Embrace it. Share your gifts with the world. The more we honor our true selves, the more we inspire others to do the same. Surround yourself with positivity. Look around you. Who are the people lifting you up? Surround yourself with those who support and inspire you. Seek out communities that foster positivity and growth. Remember, we are the sum of the people we spend our time with. Take action. Lastly, it's time to act. What steps will you take today to become your true self? Set those intentions, pursue your passions, and practice self-care. Your journey is yours alone, but each step forward is a testament to your courage and commitment to authenticity. As we conclude, I want to leave you with this: finding your true self is not a destination but a lifelong journey. It requires patience, courage, and love. Embrace the journey and remember that your true self is waiting for you. Vulnerability is often misunderstood. We're taught to hide our weaknesses, to keep our struggles hidden, and to project an image of strength at all times. But let me tell you something, real strength comes from the courage to be vulnerable. It's in those moments when we drop the mask, when we let people see us as we truly are, that we begin to connect on a deeper level. Being vulnerable doesn't mean you're broken or weak, it means you're human. It's about letting down the walls we've built to protect ourselves and allowing others to see the full spectrum of who we are. Yes, it's scary to open up, to let someone in, to risk being judged or misunderstood, but the beauty of vulnerability is that it creates space for real connection. When you're vulnerable, you give others permission to be vulnerable too. You say, it's okay to show up as you are. I'm here with you. Imagine the power of that, the power of being seen for who you really are, not for who you think you should be. In those moments of honesty, we realize that we are never alone in our struggles. We begin to understand that everyone around us has their own battles, their own fears, and their own insecurities. When we share our vulnerabilities, we create a bond, a shared humanity. We've all had those moments where we put up a front, pretending everything is fine when deep down we're hurting. But pretending is exhausting. It distances us from the people we care about and keeps us from truly living. Vulnerability, on the other hand, invites freedom. It allows us to live without fear of judgment because deep within each of us is a voice, a quiet, steady whisper that guides us even when the world around us is loud. This inner voice, our intuition, knows us better than anyone else ever could. It speaks to us in moments of doubt, in times of indecision, and when we're faced with choices that shape our lives. The challenge is that we become so used to drowning it out by the noise of others' expectations, by the constant buzz of distractions, and by the pressure to conform to what society tells us we should be. But here's the truth: no one knows you like you do. Your inner voice is there for a reason. It's the most authentic part of who you are, and it's always guiding you toward what feels right and true for your life. The problem is that we've been conditioned to second-guess ourselves, to look outside for validation, or to follow paths that others have laid out for us. And in doing so, we often end up ignoring what we truly want, what we truly need. Listening to your inner voice requires stillness. It asks for moments of quiet where you can tune out the noise and truly hear what's going on inside. It's in those moments of solitude that you'll find clarity, whether it's about a decision you've been struggling with, a change you've been avoiding, or a passion you've been neglecting. Sometimes your inner voice will nudge you in directions that feel unfamiliar or even scary. It may ask you to step away from something comfortable, or it might guide you towards something new and untested. But trust that it's leading you exactly where you need to be. Following that inner guidance doesn't mean everything will be easy, but it does mean you'll be on a path that aligns with your true self. Your inner voice is always present. It shows up in those gut feelings, those flashes of insight, and those moments when something just feels right or wrong. Even if you can't quite explain why, the more you listen to it, the louder and clearer it becomes. It's your compass helping you find direction, reminding you of who you are, and showing you the way to a life that feels authentic and meaningful. The world will always have its opinions. There will always be people telling you how to live, what to do, and who to be. But at the end of the day, the only voice that truly matters is your own. Trust it. Let it guide you toward a life that's yours, not one that's been shaped by someone else's expectations. Because when you honor that inner voice, you begin to honor who you really are. Self-compassion is the practice of treating yourself with the same kindness, care, and understanding that you would offer to someone you love. Yet, how often do we neglect ourselves in this way? We're quick to offer grace to others, but can be so harsh with ourselves. We berate ourselves for mistakes, criticize our shortcomings, and push ourselves to meet impossible standards. But the truth is, we all stumble. We all have moments when we fall short. And that's okay, because perfection was never the goal. The goal is to learn, to grow, and to love ourselves along the way. Think about it: when a friend or loved one is struggling, your instinct is to be compassionate, to offer comfort, and to remind them that they're doing the best they can. Why is it so difficult to extend that same compassion to ourselves? We need to remind ourselves that we are worthy of the same tenderness, especially when we're going through challenges. Self-compassion begins with acknowledging that it's okay to not have everything figured out. It's okay to feel lost, to make mistakes, and to be a work in progress. Instead of beating yourself up for where you are, try meeting yourself with understanding. When things go wrong, ask yourself, how would I speak to a friend in this situation? What words of comfort or support would I offer? Now say those same words to yourself. Part of self-compassion is recognizing that suffering, imperfection, and struggle are part of the human experience. You are not alone in your pain, even if it sometimes feels that way. We all share in this common thread of humanity, and it's important to remember that everyone you admire has faced their own setbacks and moments of self-doubt. One of the most liberating aspects of self-compassion is the permission it gives you to be imperfect. When you practice self-compassion, you learn to embrace your flaws, understanding that they do not define your worth. Your worth isn't determined by your achievements or how flawlessly you move through life. It is inherent. You are valuable just as you are, even in the messy, imperfect moments. Self-compassion doesn't mean complacency or avoiding growth. It means acknowledging where you are with love while still working to become the best version of yourself. It's about creating space for both self-acceptance and personal development. And in that space, you'll find resilience. Because when you treat yourself with kindness, you strengthen your ability to bounce back from life's difficulties. You build a foundation of self-worth that isn't shaken by setbacks or failures. So start today by being gentle with yourself. Let go of the unrealistic expectations, the self-criticism, and the pressure to have it all together. Speak to yourself with kindness. Offer yourself the same love and understanding you give to others. You deserve it. And the more you practice self-compassion, the more you will begin to realize that you've always been enough, just as you are. At the center of who we are lies our core values, the principles and beliefs that guide our actions, shape our decisions, and define what truly matters to us. These values serve as the foundation upon which we build our lives. But too often, we go through life without taking the time to consciously identify them, and as a result, we may find ourselves drifting, feeling disconnected, or making choices that don't align with who we really are. Finding your core values is like finding your true north. It gives you direction and clarity in a world that's constantly pulling you in different directions. It helps you understand why certain things resonate deeply with you and why others leave you feeling unsettled or out of place. When you live in alignment with your values, you create a life that feels authentic, purposeful, and fulfilling. Identifying your core values starts with reflection. Take a moment to ask yourself what truly matters to me. What are the principles I want to live by? It might help to think about the times in your life when you felt most fulfilled, most at peace, or most proud of yourself. What was happening in those moments? What values were you honoring? Perhaps it was honesty, kindness, integrity, or freedom, or maybe it was creativity, community, or personal growth. Our values often reveal themselves in moments of tension or conflict, too. Think about a time when you felt deeply uncomfortable or unhappy. Chances are something in that situation was clashing with your core values. Maybe you felt trapped in a job that stifled your creativity, or you found yourself in a relationship where respect was lacking. When we live out of alignment with our values, it shows up as discomfort, frustration, or even a sense of emptiness. Once you identify your core values, you can begin to make choices that reflect them. This is where the real power of knowing your values comes into play. When faced with decisions, big or small, you can ask yourself, does this align with what I believe in? Is this honoring my values, whether it's deciding on a career path, choosing the people you surround yourself with, or simply how you spend your time? Your values can be your compass. Every single one of us is born with a unique set of qualities, talents, and perspectives that no one else in the world possesses. Yet, so many of us spend our lives trying to fit into molds that were never meant for us, comparing ourselves to others or chasing after ideals that don't reflect who we truly are. We forget that our individuality is our greatest gift, the very thing that makes us stand out, that gives us purpose, and that can make the world a more vibrant and diverse place. It's time to stop hiding or downplaying what makes you different. It's time to celebrate it. Celebrating your uniqueness starts with accepting yourself fully, just as you are. It means embracing the parts of you that society may have told you are too much or not enough. Maybe you've been told you're too quiet, too sensitive, or too bold. Maybe you've been made to feel like you need to tone down your creativity, hide your quirks, or act more like others to fit in. But the truth is, those very things that make you different are often the source of your greatest strength. What the world really needs is more people who are willing to show up as their authentic selves. Think about it, the people who inspire us the most aren't those who blend in. They are the ones who embrace their uniqueness, who step into their power, and who dare to be different. They teach us that our differences are not flaws, but rather the qualities that make us exceptional. When you celebrate your uniqueness, you give yourself permission to live fully without apology or hesitation. You start to realize that there's no one else on this planet who can do what you do in the way you do it. Being unique also means bringing your whole self into every space you enter. It's about refusing to shrink or dim your light to make others more comfortable. It's about recognizing that your perspective, your voice, and your talents add something valuable to the world. You don't have to be like everyone else to be worthy. You don't have to follow the same path or share the same views to make an impact. In fact, it's the diversity of our experiences and ideas that creates progress, innovation, and change. The moment you begin to honor what makes you different is the moment you start to live a life that feels authentic. When you stop comparing yourself to others and start embracing your own journey, you unlock a sense of freedom. You realize that life isn't a competition and that your uniqueness isn't something to be ashamed of, it's something to be celebrated. So I challenge you to take pride in the qualities that set you apart. Whether it's your sense of humor, your passion for a cause, your artistic talents, or your deep empathy for others, these are the things that make you you. Own them, nurture them, and share them with the world. Because when you celebrate your uniqueness, you inspire others to do the same. You create a ripple effect that encourages authenticity, individuality, and self-acceptance in everyone you meet. And remember, the world doesn't need another version of someone else. It needs you exactly as you are. Celebrate the fact that there is no one else like you. Your uniqueness is your superpower. When you embrace it fully, you not only enrich your own life, but you also give others permission to embrace their own uniqueness too. The people, environments, and influences we surround ourselves with have a profound effect on who we become. Whether we realize it or not, we are constantly shaped by the energy, words, and attitudes of those around us. This is why it's so important to be intentional about the people you let into your life and the environments you choose to engage with. Surrounding yourself with positivity means cultivating a circle of people who uplift, inspire, and support you, and seeking out environments that nourish your spirit and help you grow. One of the most powerful steps you can take in your journey toward becoming your true self is to evaluate the relationships in your life. Ask yourself, are the people in my life helping me become the best version of myself? Are they encouraging me to follow my dreams, to embrace who I am, and to live in alignment with my values? Or are they draining my energy, sowing doubt, or holding me back from reaching my potential? Positive people are those who genuinely celebrate your successes and stand by you in your struggles. They are the ones who believe in you, even when you have trouble believing in yourself. They are the friends who push you to grow, the mentors who guide you with wisdom, and the family members who love you unconditionally. These are the relationships that fuel your spirit and remind you of your own strength and worth. On the other hand, negative influences, whether they're people who constantly criticize, environments filled with stress, or even habits that keep you stuck, can drain your energy and cloud your sense of self. It's not always easy to distance yourself from negativity, especially if it comes from long-standing relationships or environments you feel tied to. But learning to protect your energy is one of the most important acts of self-care you can practice. It's about recognizing when someone or something is no longer serving your growth and having the courage to make changes. Surrounding yourself with positivity doesn't just stop with the people you interact with, it extends to the environments you create for yourself. Think about the spaces you inhabit daily, your home, your workspace, the communities you're. It's easy to get lost in the dream of who we want to become or the life we imagine living, but dreams without action remain just that, dreams. The most important step in finding your true self, or in any personal growth, is the decision to take action. No matter how clear your vision is or how well you know your values, nothing changes until you do something. Taking action is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be, and it requires courage, commitment, and most importantly, consistency. We often wait for the right moment to start, when we feel more confident, when we have more time, or when circumstances align perfectly. But the truth is, there's no such thing as the perfect moment. Waiting only delays your progress. The real magic happens when you take that first step, even when you're unsure or afraid. It's in the doing, in the effort, that clarity begins to emerge, and you start to see the path unfold in front of you. Taking action doesn't have to be monumental or overwhelming. It's about small, consistent steps that move you closer to your goals. Maybe it's signing up for that course you've been thinking about, having a difficult conversation you've been avoiding, or setting aside time each day to pursue a passion project. Whatever it is, it's about creating momentum. Because once you start moving, even if it's in small ways, that momentum builds. You begin to feel more empowered and more connected to your purpose. It's important to recognize that taking action doesn't mean you have to have everything figured out. In fact, you won't know all the answers at the start. You might make mistakes. You might have to adjust your plans. But that's part of the process. The key is not to be paralyzed by fear of failure or uncertainty. It's about having the willingness to learn as you go, to pivot when necessary, and to keep moving forward regardless of the obstacles that arise. Action creates experience, and experience creates growth. Another critical part of taking action is accountability. Hold yourself accountable for the steps you commit to taking. Set specific, achievable goals and track your progress. Sometimes we can get discouraged if we don't see immediate results, but progress is often slow and steady. Celebrate the small wins along the way, because each step forward is a step closer to becoming the person you want to be. And remember, action isn't just about doing more, it's also about making choices that align with your true self. It's about saying no to things that don't serve your growth, letting go of habits that no longer support you, and being intentional with your time and energy. Taking action means taking control of your life, being proactive rather than reactive, and shaping your reality based on what you truly want. Ultimately, taking action is the difference between living a life of intention and simply going through the motions. It's about choosing every day to move toward your vision, no matter how small or difficult that step may be. Because it's in the consistent, deliberate actions you take that your true self begins to emerge, and you start to create the life you've always envisioned. Your future self is waiting, but it's up to you to take the steps to meet them. As we wrap up this journey towards self-discovery and authenticity, I want to remind you that finding your true self is not a destination, but a lifelong process. It requires courage, patience, and a commitment to embracing every facet of who you are. By embracing vulnerability, you open the door to deeper connections and a richer understanding of yourself. Listening to your inner voice guides you toward your passions and purpose, allowing you to navigate life with clarity and confidence. Overcoming fear liberates you from the chains that hold you back, empowering you to step boldly into your authentic self. Cultivating self-compassion teaches you to treat yourself with the kindness you deserve, recognizing that imperfection is part of being human. Identifying your core values serves as your guiding compass, helping you make choices that resonate with your true essence. Celebrating your uniqueness allows you to shine brightly, reminding you that your individuality is a gift to the world. Surrounding yourself with positivity nurtures your spirit, encouraging you to grow and thrive. Finally, taking action transforms dreams into reality, propelling you forward on your path of self-discovery. Remember, you are worthy of love, acceptance, and fulfillment. Each step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to living a life that is true to who you are. Embrace this journey, trust yourself, and know that you have the power to shape your life in ways that align with your deepest desires. The world needs you, your voice, your perspective, and your unique gifts. So step boldly into the life you envision and let your true self shine. Thank you.